Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with a large cargo ship comparison video. This is a follow-up video to the medium cargo ship comparison. This video will include multi-cruise ships that use size 4 or 5 hangars and size 3 or large components and can carry over 60 SU storage with cargo plating. This does not include ships with capital class or size 4 components, so that'll be for a separate video. I also found a few ships that didn't quite fit in these videos but can carry cargo, so I'll make another video just for them later. It's a fine line between categories of ships, so I'll try my best to make this logical. So that still leaves us with quite a few ships to work with. We have the Mist Hull C, the Crusader Mercury Starrunner, the Crusader Hercules series of ships, the Crusader Genesis Starliner, the Drake Corsair, the Drake Caterpillar, the RSI Constellation series ships, the RSI Galaxy, the Anvil Crucible, the Misk Starfarer series, and the Alien Gattac Raylan. Some of these are dedicated cargo ships, but not all, so I'll cover their various features. Keep in mind some of these ships are not released yet, so data on them could change when they release. Each of these ships has special features and are designed for particular trades. The Mist Hull C is a large cargo ship. It carries cargo on external spindles and has many tractor beams to help it load cargo by itself. It can expand to carry cargo and contracts to land at hangars, but it can't land on surfaces with cargo. The Drake Caterpillar is a long, thin modular ship, capable of having 4 different modules at the same time, possibly medical, vehicle, and military modules. Although we haven't seen the modules show up yet, CIG should release them in the future. Currently it only has cargo modules right now and has tractor beams for loading. The Constellation series are heavily armored multi-cruise ships with many variants. The Constellation Phoenix is designed to carry wealthy passengers to distant locations with luxury passenger suites, comfortable bedrooms, a bar, a meeting room, and a hot tub. It can still carry cargo in a cargo bay in the bottom. The Constellation Taurus is purely a cargo ship and can carry more cargo than the other Constellation variants. It can do a bit of smuggling with a special shielded cargo area and has a tractor beam. The Constellation Aquila is an exploration ship with a special scanning turret on top to give detailed scans of planets, moons, ships, and debris without having to turn the whole ship. The Constellation Andromeda is a gunship with a large amount of missiles, guns, and turrets. It is focused on clearing landing zones, taking out fighters and large ships, while also carrying cargo or vehicles. The Gattac Raylan is a Xi'an-designed ship, still in concept stage. It is compatible for both human and Xi'an crew. The vertical shape means it takes less horizontal space, so it's great for smaller vertical hangars. It carries cargo externally in Xi'an-style cargo pods. The RSI Galaxy is another modular ship, still in concept stage. It'll have cargo, refinery, medical, base building, and other modules, but only one module at a time. It does have a small rear hangar though. The Genesis Starliner is a passenger ship, still in concept, that has different types of passenger and cargo modules, either for bulk passenger carrying or luxury passenger use. The Anvil Crucible is a multi-crew repair ship, still in concept, that has a built-in hangar bay for repairing smaller ships internally. Plus, it has external repair arms to repair larger ships as well. The Mercury Starrunner is a data runner and fast cargo ship. It has large servers for data collection and storage, plus there is hidden shielded storage and engineering tunnels under the ship floors. The Crusader Hercules ships can carry even the largest ground vehicles and lots of cargo with roll-on, roll-off capability. The C2 is purely for cargo and vehicle transport. The M2 model has more turrets for defense, plus troop jump seats, while the A2 has even more turrets than the M2, plus large bombs for attack runs. The Starfarer series are large refueling ships. They carry cargo and fuel with long refueling booms to refuel other ships, with the Gemini variant being the more armed and armored version for the UEE Navy, while losing some storage capacity. Finally, the Drake Corsair has a long-range scanning suite, plus you can also get to the roof of the ship for EVA or other purposes. It is often used for salvage and piracy as well as combat. We have a large variation in size to these ships. Some are much larger than others. The Hull C is 125 meters extended. The Drake Caterpillar is 111 meters long, with the RSI Galaxy expected to be 110 meters. The Starfarer series is 102 meters long, and the Anvil Crucible expected to be 90 meters long. The Genesis Starliner is expected to be 85 meters long, and the Hercules ships are all 70 meters long. Dropping from here, we have the much smaller ships with the Constellation series at 63 meters long, except for the Taurus at 70 meters. The Mercury Starrunner is 56 meters long. The Raylan is only expected to be 54 meters long, but is also 55 meters high, since Xi'an like their vertical ships, so it is the tallest ship on the list. The Corsair is the shortest at only 53 meters long, but still plenty large enough for a crew to manage. The longest ships on this list are twice the length of the shortest, so you can see how sometimes it's difficult to catalog these large ships together. Next, we'll cover one of the most important features, cargo capacity. The Misk Hull C has the largest capacity of the ships at 4,608 SCU in external storage. The Crusader Hercules C2 has the next largest at 696 SCU. The Drake Caterpillar has 576 SCU in modular sections, but the specific modules you install in the future could affect that amount. The RSI Galaxy has only 64 SCU built in, but can carry a cargo module that holds another 512 SCU for a total of 576 SCU to tie with the Caterpillar. Obviously, using other modules on the Galaxy will reduce this though. Next, we have the Hercules M2 military transport variant with 522 SCU. The future Gattac Raylin alien ship has 320 SCU in external storage. The Genesis Starliner can hold up to 300 SCU, although that'll drop depending on what internal systems you install on it, since putting passenger seating could drop that. The Misk Starfarer and Gemini both have 291 SCU internally, plus external cargo pods. Normally they carry fuel tanks on those pods, but CIG has said that we will be able to put cargo containers on there too. We don't have confirmation on how much external cargo the two variants will carry, but the Gemini version will carry less. After that, we have the Anvil Crucible repair ship. It has internal space for 230 SCU cargo. The Hercules A2 bomber can carry 216 SCU. The Constellation Taurus can carry 174 SCU between the main cargo bay and the shielded cargo bay. The Mercury Starrunner can carry 114 SCU between the main cargo bay and hidden cargo storage. The Constellation Andromeda, Phoenix, and Aquila all carry 96 SCU, while the Drake Corsair carries the least at 72 SCU. The Hull C dwarfs all the other ships in cargo storage, but it is external, so the cargo is at risk of theft or damage. Plus, it is limited in where it can transfer cargo due to the ship's large size. The Raylin also has external cargo, so it is also at risk of damage or theft. Many of these cargo ships can carry ground vehicles or snub ships. The Crusader Hercules series can carry Nova tanks, Spartans, and anything smaller. The Constellation series, Mercury Starrunner and Drake Corsair can carry Ursa rovers and smaller vehicles. The Misk Starfarer can carry Tumbril Cyclones or smaller. They have larger internal space for bigger vehicles, but the door size is too small for anything larger. The Drake Caterpillar will be able to safely load Drake mules and smaller vehicles in the future, but only if you can find a way to get in there. The side doors and front door don't lower to the ground yet, but CIG has shown pictures that they are actually elevator doors, so they should work. We'll see. These same ships can also load snubcraft that fit in the doors. Typically, Misk Furies are safe, but the Hercules ships can load the larger snubs too. For the other ships, the Hull C only holds external cargo, same for the Gattac Raylin, so they can't hold vehicles yet. Although we'll see what CIG does with that. The RSI Galaxy has been shown to load snub ships like the Anvil Pisces. The Galaxy would need a large enough cargo elevator in the cargo module for ground vehicles, but it might be able to carry them, while the Anvil Crucible can load up to actual medium fighter ships on it, although no word on how well ground vehicles can be loaded on them. The Crucible would need a large enough door and ramp in the ship's storage section, but it should be able to carry ground vehicles if it can carry the larger ships. Finally, the Genesis Starliner will probably load Tumbril Cyclones on the rear ramp, but we'll have to see in the final product. Another consideration for cargo ships is speed. Delivering cargo faster can make you money faster, especially if you're on a time-restricted mission. The Mercury Starrunner is by far the fastest ship on the list at 215 meters a second. The Corsair is 150 meters a second, and the Constellation series are all 144 meters a second. The Hercules ships are only 135 meters a second, while the Caterpillar is 99 meters a second. The Starfarer Gemini is 88 meters a second, while the regular Starfarer is only 85 meters a second. The Heavy Hull C is the slowest at 67 meters a second. That's over twice slower than the Starrunner, so keep that in mind. Also, we don't know the speeds for the ships that haven't released yet, but I expect the Genesis Starliner to have a decent speed, since it also carries passengers. The Galaxy and Raylin probably won't be too slow either, but probably slower than the Hercules ships. Many of these ships also have VTOL engines, which is great for taking off from planets with decent gravity. The ships we know for sure that have them are the Drake Corsair, the Constellation series, and the Hercules series. We know the Anvil Crucible, the Genesis Starliner, Gattac Raylin, and RSI Galaxy might have VTOL, according to their images, but that could change on release. The heavy ships like the Caterpillar, the Starfarer series, and Hull C don't have VTOL engines and can struggle to take off from planets. The Mercury Starrunner doesn't have VTOL either, but it does have high-speed engines and thrusters to make up for that, so it's easy to take off anyway. Also, remember the Hull C can't land on ground locations with the cargo spindles open and while it's carrying cargo, so it doesn't really need the VTOL engines as much anyway. It mostly stops at space stations to load and unload cargo, so it has some limitations on where it can go. These ships have various different crew amounts to keep in mind. The max crew isn't required to run the ships, but it does help a lot for managing cargo and engineering plus manning turrets. The Anvil Crucible, Genesis Starliner, and Hercules A2 all have the most crew at 8 people. In the case of the Crucible, that's to manage ship repairs. The Starliner needs crew to help as flight attendants for the passengers, and the A2 uses the crew for all the turrets and bombing. The base Starfarer holds up to 7 crew for managing refueling, cargo, and turrets. The RSI Galaxy holds 6 crew for turrets and modular use, such as cargo or refining. The Starfarer Gemini only has 6 crew, although I'm not sure why it's less than the base Gemini. They still do the same things. The Gattac Raylene is expected to have 4 crew to manage turrets, external cargo, and engineering. The Drake Corsair has 4 crew, with 3 for the turrets, or dealing with cargo and engineering, or for boarding enemy ships, as they tend to do. The Constellation series all only hold 4 crew, partly for turrets or engineering. I would expect more crew in the Phoenix for the passengers on board, but maybe the attendants are not considered crew. The Drake Caterpillar has up to 4 crew, but used to have a larger crew, up to 8. The crew helps manage turrets, engineering, and tractor beams, as well as deal with the modular sections. I don't know why CIG dropped the crew on it, but it could be limited to the number of beds on the ship, which could change in the future if it gets an upgrade. The Mistcall C only has 4 crew, but it has a ton of remote turrets, so you would expect it would need more crew to run it, but I guess CIG grouped all the turrets to only a few seats, so it needs less people to run. It just won't run as efficiently as it could in my opinion. The Mercury Star Runner has up to 3 crew, 2 for turrets or to help running the scanning room and engineering. The Hercules M2 has up to 3 crew to help with turrets and engineering, while the C2 only has 2 crew since it only has 1 turret. Speaking of guns, many of these cargo ships have pilot-controlled weapons for both offense and defense. The Drake Corsair is the king of pilot guns with 4 size 5 and 2 size 4 guns. This ship can take down much larger ships, especially with ballistic weapons. The Constellation series all have 4 size 5 pilot-controlled guns, great for gunship duties or taking out larger and slower ships. There is a bug in 2 of the guns that prevents you from using the full size 5 guns. You are stuck with 2 size 5 and 2 size 4 hardpoints on the Constellation series at the moment, but CIG has said this will be fixed in a future patch. The MISC Starfarer series have 2 pilot-controlled turrets on the sides of the bridge with 2 size 4 guns each. The Caterpillar has 4 size 3 guns on the command module for the pilot to use, although they are limited by the length of the ship getting in the way on the right side, so it's mostly for shooting on the left side or long distance. The Crusader Hercules series have dual size 5 guns for the pilot, which is pretty decent. The Hull C has a nose turret for the pilot with dual size 3 guns. The Mercury Star Runner also has a nose turret with dual size 3 guns. We don't know the exact weapons on the Anvil Crucible or Genesis Starliner yet until they release. It's possible the pilot may not have any weapons on those ships. The RSI Galaxy and Gattac Raylene don't have any pilot-controlled guns according to the info, but we'll have to see when they release. Surprisingly, many of these cargo ships also have missile weapons. The ship with the most missiles is the Constellation Andromeda with 24 size 2 missiles and 28 size 1 missiles. It's amazing to see these launch all at once. The other Constellation variants have 24 size 2 missiles, like on the Taurus or Aquila, or 28 size 1 missiles on the Phoenix. That's still a lot of missiles. The MISC Starfarer Gemini is the more military variant of the Starfarers and has a large missile system in the nose with 9 size 3 missiles. The Drake Corsair has 4 size 4 missile hardpoints, while the Mercury Star Runner has 4 size 3 hardpoints. The future Gattac Raylene is expected to have 2 size 4 and 2 size 3 hardpoints. The RSI Galaxy is expected to have 2 size 4 missile hardpoints. The Hercules A2 doesn't have missiles, but it does have 2 large bomb launchers with a total of 4 size 10 bombs that are absolutely devastating. We don't know if the Anvil Crucible or Genesis Starliner will have any missiles, but it's unlikely. The other ships on the list don't have any missiles at all. Any ships that don't have custom missile launchers can change the missile launchers to different types. So you could have 8 size 1 missiles in the hardpoint, or a single size 4 or 5 in a hardpoint, so keep that in mind. For defense, all of these ships have turrets. The Crusader A2 has the most turrets with 7 remote turrets with size 4 and size 5 guns, depending on the turret. That large crew is needed for all of these turrets. The Hercules M2 has 3 remote turrets with dual size 4 guns each. The RSI Galaxy is supposed to have 3 remote turrets with dual guns of unknown size, but probably size 4 or size 5 guns. The Starfarer Gemini has 2 manned turrets in the rear with dual size 3 guns, and an upper manned turret with dual size 5 guns. The regular Starfarer has 2 manned turrets in the rear with dual size 3 guns, and an upper manned turret with dual size 4 guns. The Drake Corsair has 2 manned turrets with dual size 2 guns, and a remote turret with dual size 2 guns. The Raylene should have 2 manned turrets with dual size 4 guns. The Drake Caterpillar also has 2 manned turrets with dual size 4 guns. The Mistcall C has 2 remote turrets with dual size 3 guns. The Mercury Star Runner also has 2 remote turrets with dual size 3 guns. The Constellation Andromeda and Phoenix both have two-manned turrets with dual-size 2 guns. The Anvil Crucible is also supposed to have two-manned turrets with dual guns each, but we don't know the size. The Genesis Starliner should have 1 turret, but no word on whether it's remote or manned, and whether it's dual guns of unknown size, we don't know. My guess is it's a remote turret with dual size 3, but we'll see. The Crusader Hercules C2 has a remote turret with dual size 4 guns, and finally the Constellation Taurus and Aquila both have 1 manned turret with dual size 2 guns. That's not as much protection on them. When it comes to shielding, the Crusader Hercules series and Drake Caterpillar have the toughest shields with dual size 3 shields. The Anvil Crucible and Gattac Raylin are both supposed to have dual size 3 shields too, but we'll see when they release. The following ships all have a single size 3 shield: the Misk Starfarer series, Misk Hull C, RSI Constellation series, and the Drake Corsair. The RSI Galaxy and Genesis Starliner are both said to have a single size 3 shield. Finally, the Mercury Starrunner has 2 size 2 shields, which is a little low for the ships on this list, but you can make up for it with a higher speed, hopefully. Some of these ships have tractor beams, which will be useful when loading and unloading cargo. The Misk Hull C has 4 tractor beam turrets, but only controllable by 1 person in the engineering room. The Drake Caterpillar has 2 tractor beams, 1 on each side of the ship, that are controlled by separate control rooms. The Constellation Taurus has 1 tractor beam turret with 2 tractor beams on it on the underside of the ship to help load the cargo bay in the bottom. Finally, the Gattac Raylin is supposed to have a single-size 1 tractor beam turret, but we'll have to see how it turns out. We don't know if the RSI Galaxy will have a tractor beam, but I'm guessing the cargo and refinery versions will have one to help load and unload. The Starliner and Crucible probably won't have tractor beams, and the rest of the ships on the list definitely do not have them. The price of these ships is important for determining your future cargo hauling. Can you afford the ship for the features you need on the website? The Crusader Hercules A2 is the most expensive ship on the list, but that's because it's outfitted mostly for combat. It runs for $750 in time-limited sales. The M2 is the next expensive at $520, but it's great for carrying large vehicles into combat zones. The Misk Hull C is $500 but can carry the most cargo. The C2 Hercules is the more cargo-based version of the Hercules line, carrying more cargo but less guns, and is great for carrying heavy vehicles. It runs for $400. The Genesis Starliner passenger ship also runs for $400, but the price might go up when it releases flyable. The RSI Galaxy concept ship is $380, but is modular, so it can be used for multiple functions, and the price may also rise when it releases. The Constellation Phoenix is $350 and great for carrying people around in luxury and safety. The Anvil Crucible is a repair ship still in concept, running for $350. It's an old concept, so it'll probably change a few things once it releases, and the price will probably go up too. The Starfarer Gemini is the military refueling ship, going for $340. Definitely needs an update though. The Drake Caterpillar is the other modular ship on this list, going for $330 and comes with tractor beams. Also overdue for an upgrade. The Constellation Aquila is an armored exploration ship, going for $315. The base Misk Starfarer is the general refueling ship in the verse and goes for $300. The Mercury Starrunner is the fastest cargo and data runner on this ship list at $260. The Drake Corsair is the exploration and piratey ship of the bunch for $250. The Constellation Andromeda is the generic gunship at $240 with lots of guns and armor. The Gattac Raylin is the alien entry here with the unique Xi'an design for $225. Finally, the Constellation Taurus is the armored cargo ship of the Constellation line for $200. These ships aren't cheap, but they are designed for multiple crew members and large cargo holds. Finally, we have in-game pricing. If you prefer to buy your ships using your credits you made in the game, then here's how the ships turn out. The Misk Starfarer is the most expensive at 6.7 million UEC. The Luxury Constellation Phoenix is next at 5.65 million UEC. The Hercules A2 is 5.5 million UEC. The M2 at 5.2 million UEC, and the C2 at 4.9 million UEC. These ships are definitely worth the money for both cargo and transport. The Constellation Aquila runs for 4.9 million UEC, as well as the Mercury Starrunner. The Drake Caterpillar is also a great cost-effective freighter at 4.6 million UEC. The Constellation Andromeda is 3.5 million UEC, and it's good for its gunship work if you need it. If you like doing combat missions, then the Drake Corsair is great at 3.4 million UEC. The Constellation Taurus is the cheapest ship in-game at 3.2 million UEC. The Hull C and Starfarer Gemini are not currently purchasable in-game yet. The other 4 ships are still in concept and may not be in-game to buy for a while. So after all this, hopefully this video helps in your future ship choices and you have successful cargo runs. Alright, so that's it for the large cargo ship review. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen and you'll get 5,000 extra in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to all my current patrons. Please check out my Patreon membership to help me make more videos. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get access to my Discord channel. Patrons and members also have the first pick on the next item I will cover, so feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.